Hi guys, welcome to the last Alpha session. So you've watched the video all about church, and I just echo what they said in that. Church is my home. Church is where I'm loved and where I'm cared for and where I'm looked after. And it's where I have a lot of my friends. And they're people who I'm close and tight with. I can share stuff with them, people who genuinely care. And growing up, I thought church was just sort of full of old people who just sung dodgy old songs. And that's really not the case for certainly all the churches I've attended. Yeah, there's a variety of ages. And yeah, we sing songs. Some of them I love and some of them I don't so much enjoy. But actually, that's all superficial. Actually, the reality for me in church is a place where I've got people who care for me, where there are people who look out for me. And within our church, there's a group of guys that I'm really tight with, and actually we as a family are really, really close with. And we're in communication daily through our WhatsApp group. We get together fortnightly via Zoom because we're all families. So it's a nightmare to actually get together of an evening because of childcare. So we Zoom. It's called Prayer and Share, and we just chat with each other about how our week is and pray for each other and support one another and encourage one another. Just Sunday, 2 days ago, opened my postbox. There's an envelope in there said to the Evases. And on the back it said something to get you through COVID. And in there was a £25 voucher for our local Chinese takeaway and a £10 voucher for the beer stop. That's a shop that sells beer in our town. And it was just no names. We don't know who sent that to us. Why do they do that? They did that because they care for us and they love us and they go through the tough times with us. And I could sit and list bad things about church. And sometimes there are people in the church you don't get on with as well. You maybe don't see eye to eye. And sometimes you can get hurt by people in the church. But the love and the care and the support and everything else far, far, far outweighs that. And as a Christian, I wouldn't still be a Christian now if I hadn't been at church. I get fed there. People literally give us food, but also the Bible is preached and taught, and I can ask questions and I can develop and grow to be more like Jesus, which is what is a big chunk of our faith. Yeah, I know Jesus is Lord. I know he died for me. He rose again. He saved me from my sins. I've accepted that, but now what? Now I want to be more like him. And how can I be more like him? Well, I can hang out with him in prayer. I can read his word, the Bible. But also I can hang out with other Christians and learn from them. So my real encouragement for you is that you get involved in your local church. I know some people who have chosen just not to do church and do it by themselves, and that's because that they find church is made up of committees and there's meetings and there's more discussion about the church finances and the church building than there is about telling people about Jesus, and sometimes that's a valid argument, but unfortunately the church does meet often in buildings, and that means that there's a certain level of responsibility, I suppose, and our churches run like businesses. Most are not. But there is an element where the church has to balance its books. So I know people who just don't get involved with church. And I know some people who travel to church. I know one person who does a 120-mile round trip for church every Sunday. And that's fine for them. I personally wouldn't encourage it. I would say, how do you get involved with your church throughout the week? Because for me, church is not just a Sunday morning or a Sunday evening. Church is my whole sort of life. And yes, I work for church, but before I work for a church, church isn't the building. Church is the people. And I do youth work and I get involved with things, and that isn't just therefore Sunday mornings. That's throughout the week. That's popping over to mates and having a coffee sat on the road and him at his front door having a coffee chatting about how things are going. That's church. And so many other things. So I'd encourage you that you go to a local church. What type of church? I'd encourage you, firstly, if you've got friends who are at a church, go along with them. Much easier to go somewhere with someone else with you than walking in by yourself. Go along with them, see what you think of that. But try different churches. I've been told off in the past where I was at an event, and a local event, and they were telling people about God, and there was that real Christian message, and so a band were playing, and a lady walked past me and started chatting to me and said, "Oh, I'm visiting the UK. I'm here for a year, and I'm a Catholic." And I just said, "Right, you need to go to this church. This is the Catholic church in this town. Go there. I know these people there. I can put you in touch with them." And she was like, "Brilliant, thanks." We did that, and off she went. And someone came up to me and said, "Why didn't you tell her to come to our church?" And it was like, well, because she's a Catholic. She would, I'm sure, rather go to a Catholic church. Or why would I say come to our church? And different churches do different types of singing, and they have different focuses and different ethoses. And I'd say go and try a few and see where you feel comfortable, see where you fit in, see where you feel that God's calling you. Pray, ask him about it. Me and my wife, when we first were moving to Dronfield, we planned to go to a totally different church than the one we did, and we drove over. We were moving into Dronfield, and we still lived out in the Peaks, and we prayed about where we should go, and I felt very strongly that God said we should go to one specific church. So, and we'd seen it online, so we went there. And it wasn't the church that we would choose to have gone to, but we changed our plans on the way. We went there and we sat outside, and we prayed, and my wife was like, we'll feel really welcomed here. And we were invited out for meals by people as we walked. And I think I might have mentioned this in a previous video. But God sort of directed where he wanted us. And the church right now, I'm at Dronfield Baptist Church. Actually, I'm at Dronfield Baptist Church because of two guys. Because I did some youth work on Friday nights for a few years. And there were two guys there, both retired, who were at that church, at Dronfield Baptist, and they were just quality blokes who I got on really, really well with. And when we were looking for, we had to move churches, and when we were looking, it was like, we'll go there. It might not be the church that we would initially say that's the one we want, but it was the church where we were loved and cared for, and we found that love and care just richly abundant at Dronfield Baptist Church, and that's why we're there. That's why I applied for a job to work there. Yeah, I love my role, but I love my church more. And actually, I know that my church family love me and Becca and the boys immeasurably. So find a church, get involved. Don't just turn up on a Sunday. Get involved. Find out what's going on throughout the week. Most churches have got loads of stuff going on that you probably aren't aware of. Go and find out. Get involved. Get to know people. And hopefully someone will sort of support you. You'll build good friendships, and you will grow in your knowledge and your love of Jesus. So that's it for Alpha. Does it end now? I hope not. I hope that you've enjoyed this series, and I hope you are keen to get involved in a church. Go and find one. If you've got questions, I'm always here. Andrew Evers at dronfieldbaptist.co.uk. Bung me an email. And I'll give us a call on the church website. All our details are there. And yeah, if you've enjoyed doing this Alpha during this COVID period, give us a bell, give us an email. And hopefully when the lockdown lifts even more, we'll be able to meet up and chat some more. So thank you for tuning in every week for, I think, 13 weeks. Hope I haven't bored you too much. This has kept me busy and occupied during lockdown, which has been good for me as well. So hope to see you around sometime. Keep well. See you later. Bye.